What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel.
Well, you know what they say, when it rains it pours, both literally and figuratively. We're getting a bunch of rain in Dallas. We're like almost, what do they say, a foot of rain accumulation is expected. And we have 4 cars on our fleet down at the moment. And on top of that, I found a rain leak, water leak in our camper van.
So you can say that we have had some better Mondays with our Turo fleet, but things have to keep rolling, and today we're going to be dealing with the damage claim that we just received last night.
Now, though it may not look like it, our Mazda 2 was seriously damaged on a rental over the weekend.
But like HP said, it is torrential downpouring outside, so we can't actually show you the damage right now, but we got to get going. Now, don't worry, it is supposed to stop raining this afternoon, so we'll be doing a full breakdown on the damage, what happened, and what all needs to be replaced. But in the meantime, HP and I have to drive 3 hours there and back, so 6 hours round trip to Abilene, Texas to go get some parts.
And we're taking Aubrey's father's truck because the parts are way too big for my little Ranger, and that's a far distance. Flash flood, smash flood. Nothing stopping us from getting to Abilene.
So we're about an hour and a half away from our destination in Abilene, Texas. And HP, can you speak a little bit to why we're driving all the way out to Abilene to get some parts for the cars?
So typically whenever we have a vehicle that's damaged, we usually have about 3 different options of getting parts. Number 1 is our local salvage yards that are really close and kind of in our bubble of DFW. And that's our best option, mainly because a lot of the parts that come off of those cars are discounted. They get pulled right off of a vehicle that's wrecked. You can see the damages, you can see the photos, and oftentimes it's the same color of the part that you need. The second round is getting them on eBay. The downside about that, much like salvage yards though, is you have to pay shipping. So salvage yards you don't, shipping on eBay you do. So it definitely adds to the price. And lastly, if those 2 options aren't available, we get them from a local store called Certifit, which they're actually pretty they're nationwide, but they're cheap Chinese parts, they're stamped steel, and they do not come painted, which means that we have to paint them. We've had to use them a couple of times, but I'll be honest, my preferred is always salvage yards.
And as far as why we're driving out to Abilene, it really does come down to the fact that they had what we needed. The parts were painted. These parts are ones we wouldn't have been able to get from Certifit, and it would have been too expensive to ship on eBay. So getting them from a junkyard was really our only option in this case. And unfortunately, Abilene was the closest location that had almost everything we needed. So it was kind of our only choice.
Well, after all 188 miles, we've made it the first leg of the trip.
And the good news is they called us and let us know that they were pulled off of the car, so we really should just be able to like grab and go.
It's auto salvage. David is the one who called me. This is David's auto salvage. Is it HP's? No. Is it Aubrey's? No. It's David's. Let's go. Alright, so step 1, grab the top one, fold them down. Step 2, using your right hand, find the little latchy lever, pull up, and then roll it. Howdy, howdy. Here for the doors. Just like that. Yeah. Cool. So for our repairs, we needed 2 doors, the driver front and the driver rear, and thankfully this salvage yard had exactly what we needed, and they were the same color green. So we've scored those. Unfortunately, not both of them would fit inside the cab safely, so it wouldn't get dented. So we put one in the back bed of the truck and one's riding in the back with us. But now it's time to head home with our treasures, inspect the damage, and see what else we might need.
So we made it back home. Actually, we made it back home a few hours ago, but we had some cars to check in. So let's check out what we got today at the junkyard and also inspect the damage on the Mazda 2.
So here's a better look at the doors. As you can tell, they are OEM doors. They came on just a green Mazda 2, just like the one that we have. So that saves us all the time in painting. However, though these did come at a very good price, I do have to replace the actual inner door card that is on our car and put the mirror on. But other than that, it's 2 bolts and we're done.
So here we have the damage that was done to this 2011 Mazda 2. Now, whenever the guest texted us about this last night, he said that it was a little bit of damage. And whenever I looked at the photos, I had to tell him, hey, this is not a little bit of damage, this is substantial damage. But let's break it down.
So starting from the front, we can see the bumper did get a little bit of that impact damage and the headlight is destroyed. So definitely gonna need a new headlight and gonna have to touch up that bumper quite a bit. The fender is really pulling this bumper back where it took a really hard impact going down the side. It destroyed this little turn signal light, so gonna have to get a new one of those and a bulb. And onto the fender to the door. Now the door unfortunately doesn't even open all the way because of this fender damage, and it is creased in very hard. I know there's an impact sensor here or here, and the airbag is flashing a code, so that's also gonna get needed taken care of. Coming back to right here, we can see where this door meets here is also pushed in really hard and it is caved in. Even to right here, it's flexed the entire door, so this door also needs to get replaced. It's a lot of body damage. Coming to the back, we can see right in this lower quarter panel, we have a really hard crease into this one right here, and it's really just warped and flexed this entire area, and then onto the rear bumper as well, and our poor hubcap is also destroyed too. So what we are going to do is we're going to replace both doors and the fender and the headlight, and then I'm going to see if I can work out this kink here. And if you remember our previous video on our other blue Mazda 2, I already had experience doing the repair before on the same quarter panel, just the other side.
Now, whenever I pried the guest on what happened to the car, he said that he hit a highway railing, and whenever you look at the damage, you can totally see how that was the case. Now, the good news is that we submitted this claim this morning to Turo, and they actually already got back to me this afternoon and told me that the claim was approved and that I should be getting an estimate from them by tomorrow end of day. Now, unfortunately, we recently did change our protection package with Turo. We used to be on the 75% plan, which meant that we had a $250 deductible, and now we're on the 80% plan, which means we now have a $750 deductible. So whatever this costs, we're still gonna have to eat about $750 of that, which is kind of a bummer. So HP, do you think it was worth driving 6 hours round trip?
Absolutely. For 2 doors that match and I don't have to sit there and repaint them and sand them down, do all that, definitely a huge time saver, and they just bolt right up. So definitely worth it, yeah.
So at this point, we have the 2 doors, we still need the fender as well as the headlight, and as soon as we get those additional parts, HP will begin the process of getting this car fixed. So stay tuned because we will be covering that in a future video, as well as breaking down how much we made or lost from this damage claim.
And guys, as always, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and we'll see you in the next episode.